Welcome to the Union Football Coaches Show. I'm Rick Corey, voice of the Redskins, with head coach Kirk Frederick. And Coach, you had Jenks coming up. We didn't get a chance to preview it a lot last week. You don't have to really say much to your team going into a game like this, do you?
No, you really don't. An outstanding program. It's obviously a big game. It gets hyped up. You have pep assemblies. You have all that kind of stuff. Backyard bowl, community support, all those things built into it. It's definitely one of those great blessings we have of being a Jenks, is being able to play in that kind of game. I'm not real sure the kids fully understand it, maybe like the adults do, that, hey, this wasn't high school football when I grew up, that kind of deal. But obviously an awesome experience.
Because they grew up with it, they think it's a great point. To them, it's that game and it's supposed to be that way. Do you ever find it hard to control emotions of the players during that week because of the mass of intention?
I think it goes with each team. Some teams get a little more into it. You're trying to hold them back. Some teams are more business-like. This team, I felt like there was a little bit there, the excitement of playing the football game and getting out there. But I didn't notice too much big game problems, as far as guys getting too excited. But maybe a couple of the guys, it was their first experience to play. But for the most part, it was a hard-fought, physical football game.
And you're going to see that in the stats. Let's take a look at them right now. You couldn't be a whole lot more even, could you? 425 total yards for Jenks, 437 for Union. Flipped around as to how you got there, though.
It is. I was really proud of how our offensive line played. Of course, Shamari Brooks had a great night, and love to watch him play football again. To me, it doesn't matter what position he plays at. He plays the game really hard. And then passing game, we weren't as successful in, and so we need to have a little more balance in our offense. And I'm sure that they're probably saying the same thing at Jenks. It's really odd. You look at those numbers, the way they're flipped like that, and the only thing I can tell you is that there's probably a couple of defensive coordinators today saying, we got a lot of work to do. One in the pass and one in the run, but what a great early season game between two opponents, and hats off to Jenks for pulling it out, and for us here at Union, we'll go back to work and try to get our district handled the best that we can, correct some of those mistakes. If we hadn't played that game, we wouldn't know about those mistakes.
Sure.
And that's one of those things that you continue to talk to our kids about, is that we need to play that game. We need to find out where our problems are, and we definitely see some issues, and some of those are hidden, but as coaches and players, we can come back together and get some of those corrected and get ready to go for district play.
Yeah, so for some of you who are out there who are going, yeah, how'd you do that? Or why did that happen? Or that kid just let him run by him. There's a reason for all those things, and you can fix and correct those. And you look at the penalties there, the number is fairly close, but the yardage is fairly significant, and that hurt, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. We talked to our kids about the discipline of the game. That's definitely one of the things that I see, is we need to be more disciplined in our everything from our stance to our alignment, assignment, and we're a little bit sloppy in places, and we felt that going into the game, and it definitely showed. Some critical penalty situations seem to be a few more critical on our end maybe than the other side, and that goes back to discipline. We've got to have a stronger team, and they need to obviously do a better job of focusing on what their assignment is, and I think you'll see some of those penalties go away.
Well, interestingly, Union's going to have an opportunity to work on those. We'll talk about that toward the end of the show. When we come back, we'll get our first half highlights, Union and the Jenks Trojans. It's always one of those really good football games, and it was again at H.A. Chapman Stadium. That's coming up next on the Union Football Coaches Show.
So I work in production, and I help cover a lot of college football games. There's a ton of running and lots of travel all over the place. You might think I'd go with a mega bank for the convenience, but actually I just switched to TTCU. I could have signed up online, but I decided just to walk in, and I'm so glad I did. Just for opening a checking account, they gave me $50 and $50 to a local school. And now when I travel, it's like a little piece of home is always with me. It really is unbeatable.
No matter how you play, or work, or live, life sometimes throws you a curve. At Eastern Oklahoma Orthopedic Center, we help you get back to playing, working, and living your life. EOC, Tulsa's finest and most experienced provider of sports medicine care for over 30 years. Visit us at eoc.com.
Welcome back to the Union Football Coaches Show. Head coach Kirk Frederick along with Rick Coy. Let's get right to the highlights. Here's the first half of Union and Jenks at H.A. Chapman Stadium, and it began with a really touching and I thought wonderful moment.
It did. You know, some students and some of the players that involved in FCA wanted to try to do something. So we have Brenda Seagraves, the area director for FCA there, kind of laying hands on each other and praying for Coach Trimble at the beginning of the game. Thought it was a nice touch for both teams and just kind of focus on their things that are bigger than football. Likewise here, we've got always trying to show the patriotism that we have, especially around 9/11 in this game. Gives us a chance to teach some life moments for our kids. Come out right away. Jenks goes on an empty set. We rolled the coverage a little bit different there, and it got a guy wide open. Great job for them, and so they get a big play right off the bat. That's kind of what you're going to see throughout the night. But Lee Barnes, good to have Lee back. Boy, he makes a big difference for us having Lee in there. Makes a nice play. We get a nice play by Jordan Starks, and then they mishandle the handoff there on I believe it's on a 4th down, and we get a big stop. So good play for our defense. Gets our offense the ball, and pretty quick there. You start to see a guy that almost rushed for 300 yards. You can see why. On first play of the game, goes about 60, and great job there for Shamari.
Nice job of getting the hole, too.
Get a nice block inside there. He just keeps moving, reverses back out on the play, but you get great push out of our guys, and we stall out, try to throw a couple of passes there. We stall out, but real proud of Noah coming in. Noah has done such a great job for us in kicking and going out and getting a field goal. As a sophomore, that's pretty good.
So Jenks back on offense here, and you see that defense doing a nice job up front.
Defense really doing a good job fitting the run. Got to get a little more pressure on it. And, again, pressure would have helped us there. And fortunately for us, he mishandles the catch, puts them into a long yard situation. And we've got to work better on our rush lanes. But, again, good pressure, good coverage down the field, and an incomplete pass. Again, really good job up front. I thought that Shamari has great vision in the way that he sees the blocks, but just does a great job. You can see here, love the reverse camera angle here. Obviously, we've got the best camera group in the state, without a doubt, with our students and with Andy Erwin and with the UView crew filming our games. Grady Davenport with a nice push inside. Then we come back here on a little play, kind of an unbalanced receiver formation. And you can see about the only guy who tackles him in there is Tomlin, Big Tomlin there, the guard. Gets him into the end zone. Good play by Grady, great block inside, good call. And anytime that you got guards tackling your quarterback in the end zone, that's a good thing, I guess.
Your own guards, yeah. He's got great vision. I've really always liked his vision.
Outstanding play there by Lee Barnes in the A-gap. Does a nice job against the run. You see our defense, talk to our defensive line about gap integrity all week, and they did a nice job. You see Devin Crittenden coming up, making a nice play. And again, just you can see that swarming defense, Patrick Fields and Devin there. And again, the defensive line taking away all the cutback lanes. We lose a big receiver in coverage there just a little bit, and he comes up, makes a nice play, kind of extends the drive for them. And so at this moment, we're up 10-0 and excited about where we're at. And then, of course, anytime in the Jenks game, these guys are going to come back and rally. We misfit just a little bit on the edge and give them a nice run with their outstanding tailback and gets them in the red zone. We misplay the quarterback, and he does a nice job of reading the defense, goes in and cuts the lead down 10-7.
That's where you talk about eyes right.
Without a doubt, without a doubt. So a lot of these things, teaching moments that we can correct. We get a chance to take a shot down the field. CJ gets the guy beat. We're just off the fingertips there again. We've got to make sure that we make a few more of those big plays in the game. Come back here, throw a little underneath pass there to AK on a long third down, and don't pick it up. One of the things that has been really nice is the punting out of Spencer Farquhar. I think he averaged almost 44 yards a punt the other night and really helped us out. Get another bust there on a big play, and they're right back in it, and so now we're down. So the game just completely shifted in about 4 minutes' time. As a coach who's been through a lot of these, you expect that, but our kids are going to have to try to respond to it. Going into the second quarter, come back, and you could see that a little bit of a scramble underneath and just not able to get that first down that we needed. After a really nice punt by Spencer, they're going to take a shot. Trey Brown defends it well down the field, does a really good job. You can see our outside backer coming in there. I think that was Raphael Williams, who came in and made a really nice play. Braden Spicer at inside linebacker had a great game as well. And anytime that you do a really good job against the run, of course those linebackers are in there fitting well.
Give Trey a chance here.
Trey the ball on the outside, a little swing pass. Nice job, come back inside. Great block in there by Peters. Just does a really good job, Nate Peters in there blocking. You can see him wrap around the corner. Carlos Barrios in there blocking back on the nose guard. Of course, Shamari makes a couple of guys miss a tackle, and I can imagine he's probably pretty sore after that game. Again, just as hard as he plays.
Channeling a little of number 22 from last year, isn't he?
No doubt. I really was impressed with our tight end play the other night. I really thought that Lawrence Harris did a good job. You can see on a nice block there, and then we come back here again, and a nice snap, hold, and kick, and pick up 3 points on the drive. Good coverage down the field, contain the quarterback. I would love to have seen that a couple more times the other night because we missed him several times. A couple of missed tackles in there. Kyrie with a great play, just got to wrap up that. Lee Barnes being very disruptive. You can see Devin Bajek in there, and of course Braden Spicer playing well. Great pressure from the outside there by senior Mitchell Lewis from the outside backer. Love seeing kids celebrate. What a great job coming off the backside there. Got good coverage because he can't get rid of the ball, and then we're able to add the rusher and get a big sack. They get off a great punt, puts us down here deep. You want to get out of your own shadow there, and of course we get about a 6-yard carry on the first down, which is awesome. And then again, you see some other tough running in there by Shamari, but the offensive line doing a really nice job. We knew we were getting the ball first in the second half, so just tried to run the clock out there toward the end of the half. Go in at halftime, try to make some of the adjustments where we were bleeding a little bit in the pass coverage, and come out and play another half.
Yeah. So what were some of the major things you wanted to kind of tweak?
A lot of the things that we looked at with our coverage was things our kids knew, but seeing it live and seeing it fast, it's a little bit different than scout team. And so, yes, Coach, I know now that's what you were talking about. I thought Jordan Starks had a lot of courage coming back, had missed on a couple of things. He came back and made some great plays in the second half. Just an example of some of the corrections that our guys made.
All right, we're going to get to the second half highlights. Union taking on Jenks at H.A. Chapman Stadium. That's next on the Union Football Coaches Show.
About Arvest, let's ask real customers.
I have the free business checking account.
They seem interested in making sure that your business is successful.
I'm in here probably 3 to 4 days a week.
They've helped me with lines of credit when I needed extra money for capital.
We didn't have to even come to the bank. He came to the warehouse.
I've got tons of locations in the small towns where we end up building stuff at.
I didn't think it was, it could ever be done, but when I come down here, it was done.
Arvest Bank, our customers say it best.
Hey man, you cut me off back there. What you gonna do about it? Oh man. Can you feel it? The taste of Coca-Cola. Well, the race all right, fine.
Are we good? We're good.
Welcome back. It's the Union Football Coaches Show. Rick Corey, the voice of the Redskins, along with Kirk Frederick, the head coach. We're going to jump right into the second half highlights of Union and Jenks. It's a 1-point game at the half, but you wouldn't expect anything else, would you?
No, you really wouldn't going into this game. What a great crowd. I thought our student body did an outstanding job. Everything from spirit groups to band, student body. It was just a great atmosphere for our kids, and I know they appreciated it so much.
See a little push there from the offensive line.
Offensive line just trying to get everything they can out of it. Shamari gets a nice run. Good block inside there. I believe that was Ricky Stromberg doing a really nice job at the point of attack right there. May have been Carter Hoopengardner. Both those guys played really well. A little bit of a backwards pass here. We mishandled out there to Kevion, so we lose some yardage. Had some positive things going here. We wind up getting a penalty on this drive. Then we have a backwards pass. And so just really some good things, but then it's like one step forward, two back. Punt the ball away on the first drive of the second half. See a really nice play by Devin Bajek, and then we come back here, and what a great throwing catch. Just too much time. We've got to get better pressure on the quarterback. Do a good job here on the edge. Got to contain that edge just a little bit more there. They get outside on us and get the ball out to midfield. Really nice play here on the outside, quarterback run play. You see Spicer and Fields come in, but you see the inside gaps are taken care of. See Kyrie Fisher, point of attack, with a huge play there on the back, leading on him, makes it bounce out, and then our guys come in and clean it up.
Remember, sometimes good plays are made because other guys are good players too.
There's no doubt. You can see inside trying to get some good pressure there. Our guys come off in coverage because of that, and they make a great play. Just a couple of those small things we can learn. But again, just a tough one. Allows them to pick up a first down. Get the quarterback out of the pocket, kind of come up to a 50-50 ball right there, and their big kid jumps and makes a good play on the ball. Back on offense, now we've got ourselves in a hole a little bit. We've got to get to work here. We're down 8 points, and we get the ball out to AK. Does a really nice job. Again, the power play inside, working really well. Coach Morsey, Coach Young, and those guys did a great job with the offensive run game last week, and those guys up front take a lot of pride in the success that Shamari had.
You just spotted very good offensive production.
Grady comes out. This is a really nice drive for us. Gets the ball to AK in the flat. Then we come back here with a little lead play to the quarterback. Grady does a nice job picking up the first down, gets out of bounds. Now we're down, close to the red zone here. Get the ball to AK on a little sweep. You can see the blocking on the edge. I thought our receivers blocked really well in the run game, and you can see right there Lawrence Harris with a great block. You see Kyrie Richardson, what a great block on the outside for the receivers. Get a big pull inside there, and fortunately they get a face mask on that one there. Gives us the ball on the 5-yard line. Good block on the outside, and give the speed sweep there to a speedy guy, Trey Brown.
But your speed sweep on both sides with AK and Trey worked terrifically well.
Got a 2-point play, came up, good design, and we're able to get to an unbalanced line, sprint out a little bit. We pick up Shamari there in the flat. You can see right now, Shamari in the flat, and is able to convert it. And that allows us to tie the game up. Lee Barnes with good pressure, and right away, right off the bat, unfortunately, we just give up a big play right there, and just a bust for us defensively, and a great play for them. And so the offense has got to go right back to work.
And does a pretty good job of it.
Pretty good job. Go back to what dance with the one who brung you, and just do a great job. What great focus out of CJ there. Ball's underthrown just a little bit. CJ comes out with the big play there, about a 30-yard pass, and just does a great job, gets us to midfield. Of course, Shamari continues to run hard, had a little over 30 carries. That takes a lot of toughness out of a kid. Got great blocking up front. You can see Ricky Stromberg picks up a block and then picks up another block, 2 blocks on the same play. Little tunnel screen. You see Elwood, that's 280 pounds running down the field blocking. Love to see that. Look at Cutshaw coming out there. Josh Cutshaw with a nice block. And Trey Brown is able to pick up a first down for us going into the fourth quarter. We get the nice kick out block, and then you see Shamari able to make a great cut to get inside. Just does a great job with it.
And watch this in the slow motion. Watch the
great job there by Lawrence, kicking it out. Of course, just kind of it's a gap scheme, and so you got some guys blocking down and some guys blocking out. And if you got a tailback that can read that gap in there, then obviously you've got a chance to have some success.
And some explosion, which he has.
Come in here, you see, then throw a little swing pass to the outside. We get a nice play by the outside backer on it. Almost get the pressure there, and this was a really backbreaker for us because they make a nice catch, tied in on the sideline, gives them about 15 yards, and gets them right down to about the 40-yard line. Again, you're looking at the fourth quarter, and you're seeing opportunities where the game is tied up, and you're seeing some guys fighting really hard on both sides. You see Lee Barnes come in with a big sack there with Darius, just making a nice play. I believe this gets us to a third down, and you see him scramble out. We see a nice, that was on a second down, and you see a nice play there by Devin Crittenden on the sideline. Just makes a nice play to turn them away on that drive. More of the same guy. Great job up front. I'm sure they're going to work on some run fits, and our guys have done a nice job finding those gaps and really coming in and making a nice play. Put Noah in here on a field goal. Again, a lot for a sophomore, but you can see there's plenty of leg there. There's no doubt that during the season he'll come back and hit another one for us. This is what the Backyard Bowl is about. Got a guy come in, makes an interception. They're fighting for the ball, and Jenks comes up with it, but our guys keep battling. You see Big Leroy there, Jordan Kelly coming in with a nice play. Love it. Anytime you got about a 290-pound kid coming in there, finally got a hold of the quarterback. He was pretty excited about it.
Yep.
Offensively, come back. Again, Grady does a nice job getting some positive yardage there. Run a little counter play off the sweep. Then we get penalty for holding. Puts us in long yardage, and we try to force the ball down the field, and it gives them an interception. And right here, a little past midfield, not a whole lot of time left in the game, about 3 minutes here. With the tie ball game, we've got to rally really tough here. You can see the quarterback, if we just get our hands on him, obviously 2 or 3 times, he does a great job with the defensive lineman. Jordan Starks comes across, makes a great play on the ball, knocking the ball away, and unfortunately get called for pass interference. Jenks gets the ball back on around the 30-yard line with a fresh set of downs. We do a really poor job of responding here defensively. They get a big run. They come right back again with their unbalanced formation. You can see our defense trying to stiffen up here. Again, tie ball game, ball in the 5. And they get a little sweep there. We miss an angle. And they go in to score and take the lead here towards the end of the game. Offensively, there's a minute left in the game. We come back. The guys do a great job continuing to battle. You can see get the ball to AK. That same route we ran earlier in the game. We sprint out here. Grady does a nice job finding AK in the flat. Just chewing up some yardage, getting out of bounds, and doing a really nice job of finding a way to get the ball down there and have a shot at the end zone toward the end of the game.
And you get it.
Come back here, we take a shot towards the end. We've got about 4 downs here to try to get it done, trying to manage the clock. And they make a nice play there at the end of the game, and we aren't able to execute. So many different things we feel like we could go back and do, but hats off to Jenks. They did a really nice job in the game.
Well, there's no such there's no such thing as saying, oh gosh, that's still a very good performance, but it is a good performance. There are things you can work on. And if there's anything encouraging, it's that we didn't just roll out there and get steamrolled. We know what we have to do to get better.
Our kids played very hard. I cannot fault their effort. They did a nice job of preparing, getting there. We can probably be a little more simple as a coaching staff. There's so many different things as a head coach. You can look back. After you play 3 games, you try to find out what you're doing best, and that includes everything from the top guy to the coordinators to the scout team kid to the starting guard. We'll get all that stuff sorted out and go back to work.
As a matter of fact, they've got an interesting opportunity to do that. It's an off week. We'll talk about that when we come back and also see our up close and personal with some great pictures from Vic Kidwell. That's next on the Union Football Coaches Show.
Frontier Valley Conference. 10 schools. Broken Arrow, Bartlesville, Bixby, Bishop Kelly, Jenks, Muskogee, Owasso, Sand Springs, Sapulpa, Union. .22 sports, 509 state titles. Numbers don't lie. Frontier Valley Conference. Strength in numbers.
We're back on the Union Football Coaches Show. Rick Corey along with the head football coach Kirk Frederick. Let's get right to Vic Kidwell's terrific up-close and personal pictures from what is always a classic football game.
Yeah, excited about having Vic in there, having some great pictures here. Really nice here. You see 3 seniors in there, Grady, Shamari, of course Nate Peters up front. Those guys up there blocking, doing a great job. Landon Wood, this is an outstanding punt return that was called back on a penalty, unfortunately, and so but what a great effort there by Landon. Nice job there. Braden Spicer, again, I told you he had a great game. Of course, Devin Bajek in there as well, Kyrie. Really, those guys played well up front. Love seeing Ricky Stromberg there and Nate Peters on the block, getting 2 guys on there. Ricky's got his eyes upfield for a linebacker. Nice picture there. Shamari, that's on the 2-point conversion. He was not going to drop that one, that's for sure. He was going to make sure that he definitely got that one caught. Carter Hoopengardner, senior offensive tackle there, leading the way for Shamari. Just does a great job. Again, most of our offensive line did a nice job. There's CJ, great focus on the underneath thrown ball. Coming back, he was getting held, came back, still made a catch there. Big time catch there in the second half. Here's AK putting on the brakes. You can tell right now he's thinking, hey, I'm cutting this ball back. And I don't know how somebody can get from that position back the other way, but
well, you and I couldn't.
Yeah, there's no way. And then, of course, Darius Thornton doing a nice job. Can't really tell exactly. I think that's Kyrie Fisher underneath, but Darius and Kyrie. And here we come with Jordan Kelly, big junior, talented junior coming in. This is on the quarterback sack where he gets the quarterback there in the second half.
All right, so you've got a week off, which is kind of unusual in high school, but you self-scout. What do you do this week?
Well, for us, obviously, we go back and try to focus on some of those discipline things about, why are we continuing to be in this kind of a stance? Why are our eyes, leaking to where they shouldn't be? Where's our keys? So we get to focus on not just this game mistakes, but some of those in those first 3 games. As coaches, you get to self-scout. What's worked well? What hasn't worked well? Which kid do we need to rotate? Who needs a little more touches? And those kinds of things. So for us, this is pretty valuable. It's new to us. We don't know exactly what we're doing as far as this being new, but for us, it allows us to slow down and get ready for district play. We've got a big Edmond North game coming up, Owasso, all those coming up. So this will be a great week for us.
Good time after Union has had Broken Arrow, of course, the folks in Carroll and at Jenks. Hey, so we're not going to have a show next week because it's a week off. We'll see you in a couple of weeks right here on the Union Football Coaches Show.